All right, welcome back to another podcast of You Like That. You Like That. We're
Woo! Sorry.
scared the shit out of me. We are
Add a little spice to it.
we are going to do the final two rounds of the West bracket in this podcast, and then we'll have all our Final Fours. And then in the next podcast, we'll do the Final Fours down to the championship game and the championship game. So this podcast, next podcast, done with this one. Then we'll move on to our next, whatever our next be. Steve Salata, Brian Perschetti, Kayla Fuller, Troy McGatlin. Steve, why don't you go ahead and start us off with our first two games?
I'd also like to say this. It feels fitting on Selection Sunday for
Very much so.
the bracket.
We're doing the bracket.
So
Although
I think we need to get you a Celtics shirt so we can balance out the table, though. Something about it is I can't. It's throwing me. I can't even look that way.
By the way,
now.
I will be wearing a jersey every podcast now because I've got enough jerseys to wear. I won't be wearing all Nuggets. I'll pull out a Rockies one and a Broncos one or whatever.
You know, I can do
You might as well.
You're more than
Got to
welcome
keep
to-
your allegiance,
yeah.
yeah. I might just get a flag that I post over there. Just blocks out this whole camera.
Just put a big old giant flag behind you.
Oh, man.
Okay,
all right, we'll
Steve,
start. We'll start with an easy one: 1977 versus 1979. And if you'll remember, 1979 was our sneak winner from the previous bracket.
Was that the one who walked?
Beating 1940 versus 1965 in
Beat two teams.
in a good jump. But I think in this case, 1977 walks away with this fairly easily. I love me some 1979, Apocalypse Now, all that jazz, Breaking Away, Manhattan, and for me, the Muppet movie. But I don't think it can hold a candle to 1977. Close Encounters, Saturday Night Fever, and Star Wars, of course, Annie Hall. I feel like that. I don't even have to look very deep on that. I think 1977.
No, that starting five is going to blow away the starting five.
Agreed, 100%.
Mind you, it does have Apocalypse Now in '79, and who doesn't love Apocalypse Now? And I'm a big fan of Breaking Away too. Again, I'm always a big fan of sports films, but I agree. 77 will take it for me.
Yep.
Caleb?
I've got nothing.
Nothing to add to that?
I will say it does have Injustice for All, so I just want to say you're out of order. You're out of order.
You're out of order. Brian, you've got the next setup here. 75, 2010.
75, a very stacked year featuring some of the highlights, just Jaws, Monty Python, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Dog Day Afternoon. A lot of good stuff in here. Going against 2010, weak year, but you have Inception, Black Swan, Social Network, Toy Story 3, which is a great one. The Town's a great movie. Good, but in my opinion, I don't think
before you vote.
Okay.
I want to throw in 75 was the 5 seed and 2010 was the 10 seed, just so we know where they're coming from.
That is true.
So continue on so we know where we're coming from.
I think the 5 seed takes it. I think 1975 is a lock for me.
I'll look at 75 one more time. Cuckoo's Nest, Linden. Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's
120 Days of Sodom, if anyone's seen that fucked up movie. It's really, don't bother.
I will say there are some real gems. For me,
2010?
I think that the 10 seed, has advanced to, only out of the first round, so round of 32 and an upset. And although it won't advance, I'd like to just, give some shout outs to. It's gonna go. It has some decent players. Toy Story 3, Social Network's my favorite film that year. I love the True Grit remake. I love Black Swan. I liked the 127 Hours. Scott Pilgrim. I think Winter's Bone is overrated.
I think one of my favorite movies
Blue
that year,
Valentine.
Let Me In.
Let Me In.
Great movie.
Which
2010.
Is it the
10 seed.
foreign version or the U.S. version?
The foreign version.
Yes, the foreign version.
Yeah.
Blue Valentine. I love The Fighter. Really love The Fighter. I think The Other Guys is a funny film, but it can't mess with.
Yeah, the strength is 70.
It's 75 is like 10 deep. They got goons on the bench. It's over.
I love How to Train Your Dragon too. I think that was one of the most original movies.
Made a lot of money.
And I guess I'm one of the few people who love The King's Speech, but it's just mostly because I wish I had written that. But see, 75 still wins everything.
I'm going to go off on a tangent. I have no problem if that film wins best screenplay, or which it probably did. But
yeah, I think so.
But as the total package, I don't think it was the best made film that year. I think Social Network had so much more going for it. than King's Speech is written well and it's acted well. You know, those are the two things. It's directed fine.
Tom Hooper.
I apologize. Let Me In is the remake. Let the Right One In is the original.
Okay.
So discredit that. Not one of my favorite movies. Remake was okay. It wasn't
Mike,
terrible.
somebody.
The Town might have been one of my favorite movies from that year.
Yes,
I like that.
The Town is very good. Actually, I read an article today, speaking of Town, where these guys were convicted in Boston because they basically ripped off the town to rob a bank. They did exactly.
Oh, it would have been cool if it was Fenway Park at least. Just right?
Okay, so
wear the same masks and everything when they pull up to
they had
the
police outfits.
Yeah, the nun outfits and the
75.
Yeah, the
75.
5 seed beats the 10 seed.
Yeah, for sure.
But a valiant effort by the 10 seed.
Yeah, 10 seed was strong.
One of those George Mason, like, hey, you played tough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It has some. I mean, as far as the more recent years, recent being the last like 10 years, maybe. It's a strong. Like it has a handful of really solid movies.
No. It's just, again, it's got Social Network in there, which I think will go down as a touchstone-y kind of film over decades. Caleb, you got the 8th seed and the 6th seed.
Yeah, we got 1980 versus 1992. Just to give you a few rundowns of the films of the 6th seed, 1992, we've got Unforgiven, A Few Good Men, The Crying Game, Last of the Mohicans. Let's see, Basic Instinct. Sharon Stone's really good in that. Bram Stoker's Dracula, good for Gary Oldman, bad for Keanu. We got Batman Returns. I love. Probably my favorite movie this year is Reservoir Dogs. Let's see. We got Wayne's World, which is excellent. Not a fan of the film, but a fan of Pacino and Sin of a Woman. It was a pretty good year. My Cousin Vinny and The Player, two major films that year.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the best, just a good movie about actors acting. Glenn Ross. What a great movie. That's just, hey, I'm going to act in this movie.
Did Baldwin get nominated for that at all?
He did, and he probably should have won.
I agree. I mean, it's 5 minutes of screen time.
Always be closing.
Yeah.
Coffee is for closes. And then we going up against the 8th seed, 1980. We've got Raging Bull, and we've got The Shining, and Empire Strikes Back, and Airplane, and Friday the 13th, and The Elephant Man. Now, I'd like to say, I think this is still. I think 80's probably better, but I think this is close. I'm not going to vote yet. I want to hear you guys' thoughts because it's close for me. Those are. I know the movies I just named were pretty epic, but 92 kind of has a nice little bench. You know.
Well, yeah. Unforgiven. I love. I like Reservoir Dogs. I'm not on it as much as most people are, but I do like that. Hard Boiled, which I don't think you mentioned, which is.
Oh yeah, Hard Boiled. Yeah, absolutely, John Woo.
Yeah.
White Man Can't Jump is a really good movie. I don't care
which they're remaking again.
Yeah, that's a real.
Oh, really?
That doesn't count.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Mighty Ducks, big part of my childhood.
El Mariachi, another.
El Mariachi.
There's some fun movies.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I forgot one for 92. Denzel's best goddamn performance, Malcolm X.
Malcolm
X.
Good.
There we go.
So good in that film.
Yeah, and I also, did we mention Hard Boiled?
Yeah, I just brought that up. Yeah. That's pretty solid.
Encino Man.
Encino Man.
Chaplin.
Predator 2 would be that year too. But having said that, man, there's just some stuff in 80.
Yeah.
That The Shining, I watch every year. Empire Strikes Back, I watch every year. You probably watch Raging Bull every year. Ironically, the one film I haven't seen out of 80 is Ordinary People, the one that won the Oscar.
Oh.
Really?
I just have no interest in it.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean,
no doubt about it. I mean, Caddyshack, Airplane.
Airplane. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Heaven's Gate.
Year.
Yeah.
I think for me, I love The Shining because I think The Shining is a genre creating. I thought that was one of the scariest movies, and it still is one of the scariest movies.
Cannibal Holocaust
for me.
I really recommend 80.
Raging Bull, I love, and then Empire Strikes Back. I love on a visceral level.
Yeah.
But I think for me, 1992 has more.
It's kind of deep, right? Urban Cowboy for 80.
Cowboy.
Unforgiven for a guy who studied Westerns in school, and that for me, Unforgiven was such an un-Western that I think it is such a fantastic. I don't even know how to describe it. I thought that was a genius
It was a genre
story.
breaker.
And
which is what Clint Eastwood does with the Western. He breaks the genre.
Right. Which is, I mean, it's such an amazing movie. I loved The Crying Game. A Few Good Men. I watch that every year.
Yeah.
Just for Sorkin dialogue,
yeah.
and it's the original. It's so amazing. I'm one of those guys that's all in on Reservoir Dogs.
Absolutely.
I loved My Cousin Vinny. I thought she deserved the Oscar.
Two Utes.
I don't think her name was accidentally said.
No, as we found out this year, nothing accidentally happens.
Nothing accidentally happens. I love El Mariachi, Hard-Boiled. I feel like I owe a lot to 1980. It holds a place in my heart. But for me, this is super close, and my hat goes to 92.
It's a very close. You know, I think the proper basketball analogy, in college basketball analogy, is you've got like the UNLV 5 starting man team with no bench, and then you have like 10 guys for 92 that aren't. Only one of them's going to the league. Yeah, for college players, they're all really. You got 10 guys that are really good.
I mean, for me, I would put up Unforgiven against Raging Bull, and I know that's probably saying a lot, but I feel like both of those are masterworks of their genres, and so that's why I feel those nullify, and the same goes for A Few Good Men versus The Shining. I feel like both of those are masterworks. Every word, every shot, every moment in each of those adds to the next moment, and so then I feel like it comes down to the other films, and Empire is the greatest of its genre as well, but it doesn't. I guess for me, there's such a huge bench in 92 that I can't.
Blues Brothers too.
I'm looking up 80 now because I didn't want to do this much research in this one, but I'm going to now.
I mean, I think this is I think the winner of this could go very far. This is a very close. These are
Superman 2 is 1980.
God.
That's hitting it for 1980.
Gods Must Be Crazy.
Coal Miner's Daughter.
Altered States.
Altered States for me, I remember thinking that was a super deep film when I first saw it, and then I recently went back and watched it, and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible.
In Which Way You Can, The Changeling, The Final Countdown. These are American Gigolo, The Long Riders. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I feel like for me, it's a super, super close.
It's like a one possession game.
Super close. And for me, 1992 gets it.
92 gets it for Steve.
I'm taking 1980.
1980. What about you, Troy?
Hang on.
I love that. No explanation. Just like 1980. I'm not going to fucking talk about it.
Hey, I get it.
I like a lot of the movies in 1992, but I have way more that resonate with me in 1980. I love A Few Good Men. There's a lot of movies in here I really like that I don't really care to rewatch, more so than 1980, which I could rewatch most of these multiple times. Love Aladdin, 92, one of my favorite Disney movies ever. Unforgiven is great. Even like Wayne's World's a super fun movie I could watch a ton. Growing Up, Home Alone 2 I loved. But ultimately, I mean, My Cousin Vinny is really good too, but 1980 has so much weight. Like The Shining might be the best horror movie of all time.
Instinct. You have One False Move.
Dude, I love Stay Tuned.
Alien 3.
The John Ritter movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think it's John Ritter.
Yeah, it is John Ritter.
Yeah, I love that movie. With
Pam Dog.
He has like the cable thing, and I would say, I guess, while Troy's looking, I'm
like Airplane Blues Brothers and Caddyshack for me.
This is the thing.
Great comedies.
It would normally be 92 for me or 80 for me in a walkaway, but the four films that keep holding me up are like just really well acted films that like I watched a ton, like Denzel and Malcolm X, and like everybody in Glengarry Glen Ross. Like we all remember the Alec Baldwin.
Malcolm X over and over.
It's so good, and everybody talks about the Baldwin scene, and I love Baldwin, and he's my favorite part of that film. But Ed Harris is great in that movie. Alan Alda, or not Alan Alden, Alan Arkin is great in that film, and Kevin Spacey, and obviously Pacino. And then My Cousin Vinny is just another good acting movie. It's like Marissa Tomei, Joe Pesci, go.
Right.
And then lastly, Reservoir Dogs, like that's a movie like, had a big impact on me when I saw it. I really liked it. And so those 4 films are keeping me back from saying but I don't know. Troy, what are you thinking? I got to think still.
All right, so my argument is counter to what we're doing, but I'm going 1980, and I'll tell you why. Is because of the films in 1992 that destroyed legacy of films, i.e., hang on a second here. Oh, I just lost my. There we go. Alien 3, Lethal Weapon 3.
See,
Batman Returns.
you're judging on the worst of it instead of the best.
I'm saying the worst of it takes it down rather than lifts it up.
Well, every year has some bad films.
But I'm saying that because I didn't know. I'm not. They're not just bad films. They're bad films tied to good films. That's my problem. Because Alien and Aliens are great films, and here comes Alien 3, just kicked you in the nuts that year. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Why am I watching this movie? Same with Lethal Weapon 3. Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 are great films. Lethal Weapon 3 is like, they're stealing guns from the cops. Like, what? So anyways, they were just like, they took a punch into the gonad section for anybody who loved, although Army of Darkness was pretty solid.
That is a great movie.
Yeah.
But I think I have to go with 80 because 80 does the opposite, where Star Wars is solid, but then Empire Strikes Back, that's one up at one.
Interesting take.
Mm-hmm.
That makes you the decider.
Yep. No pressure. Well, it makes you either the decider, or then we have to figure out what the hell we do.
Either that,
Then
or
someone's getting out of court.
we're gonna go back down to flipping a coin.
Well, here's the thing. Let's.
I love how you started. You wanted to hear what the rest of us thought.
Yeah,
now you're right back in the same
now
spot.
you're
I know. So let's talk about it. I'm just gonna throw some ideas your way, you guys' way, and you guys tell me what you're cooking with.
I think maybe 1980s was a director's year. Can we say that? And that 1992 is an acting
absolutely.
year. Maybe that is where I'm coming down on.
Well, and also
let me hold on. I want to finish this point.
It's also 92 is a writer's year too.
All right,
Maybe
let me finish this point. Let's get through. All right, I'm gonna throw a movie at everybody. Give me your answer: Shining or Unforgiven? No explanations.
Oh, come on.
No explanations. What are you going with?
Wait, can you give me a parameter?
No.
No, I mean like
no.
You're just gonna throw this on, or like
no. Pick the movie.
Shining.
Shining.
Okay, see, I agree there, but I still love Unforgiven.
Yeah, but you're pinning the.
But if I both of them on at the same time, I'm probably picking The Shining.
All right, last. I gotta leave Raging Bull out of this because it's too close. It's too close. But a few good men. Or
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You're gonna do it. It's gonna get its ass kicked.
Okay, I'm gonna pick 80 only because I love Raging Bull so much and Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
But it's I do so begrudgingly.
Okay. All right.
We'll note that on the bracket.
Begrudgingly accepted.
Got to get down to 1 year. A lot of good films are going to be sacrificed on.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's an upset.
That's the problem.
That's an upset.
A lot
the
of
8
good ones
beats
are
the
going to
6.
go, unfortunately.
Wow. All
the
right.
8 beats the 6.
So I got 1954, which is the 4 seed, and 1994, which is the 2 seed.
Ooh, this is gonna be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I'll go with 94 first, which is the what did you say was the 4 seed?
Second, 2 seed. That's a 2 seed.
54 is the 4 seed.
54. Okay,
54.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You got Rear Window, On the Waterfront, Dial M for Murder, 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, The Kane Mutiny,
7 Samurai.
7 Samurai. Hang on, let me see what else we got here.
It's not a bad starting 5
That's a
Yeah.
lethal starting 5.
at all.
Star is Born, the original Star is Born. And then the
Carmen Jones.
1992. Let's see if I can find it.
94.
94, thank you, good, because that would have Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, True Lies, Lion King, Speed, Stargate,
Who?
The Mask.
Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers. I'm sure there's
The Professional.
Clerk, Leon.
Clerks.
yeah.
Yeah. Good old Leon.
Lion
Speed.
Yeah.
Did we say True Lies? Because True Lies is a great
Yeah, I said
action.
True
Yeah,
Lies.
it's a great movie.
Dumb and Dumber. The Crow.
D2 The Mighty Ducks.
Hell yeah.
D2. I won't go.
Ace
Four
Ventura,
Weddings and a
Pet
Funeral. If you want to
Detective.
go there. Okay, so
No 4 weddings and a funeral. None of that.
actually,
Santa
I'll
Claus.
put this out there. Clear and Present Danger, I think, is one of the best Jack Ryan films.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Lion King. Oh, my God.
I won't go any deeper on those two because we can discuss it later on down the line. Steve, what do you have?
Hoop Dreams. Oh, sorry.
Was that 94?
Initially, I'm looking at 94, and there are 94 seems like just a year of joy of just movies being movies and being entertaining, and I love it. Forrest Gump entertained, Quiz Show entertained, Shawshank and Pulp Fiction. I think of this and The Lion King. That those are all for me great. Entertaining, got The Mask. I love it. Speed. That's all.
Dumb and Dumber,
everything is
dude.
fun.
Dumb and Dumber
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. How like I love it. And then I look back at 54, and
54 's
I feel like
strong as hell.
those films for me are more important and moving for me, and not as entertaining. While I'm sorry, not saying not as entertaining. I feel like On the Waterfront and Seven Samurai, and especially Rear Window, M for Murder,
Are important films.
are in addition to being entertaining, they're also important. And I realized that Forrest Gump was very much trying to be important while being entertaining.
Definitely third between Pulp and.
And I feel like
Can I throw something into the argument here?
I
real
put
fast?
Lion King over Forrest Gump, personally.
Out of the top 15 films on IMDb, Shawshank is 1, Pulp Fiction is 7, Forrest Gump is 13.
Yeah, but that
No,
list
but
is-
that's not critical. That's
What's up at the top? Godfather?
That's for
Two.
people who love.
Shawshank is 1.
But I mean, like,
Godfather's 2.
it's got to be in the top 5. Yeah.
I'm just saying, as audience perspective, the 3 films that make it into the top 15 from a year is pretty solid.
My difference is I haven't seen a ton past like the top
10, 5.
6 or 7 movies in 54, and they are great movies. And I've just seen a lot more in 94. So I think the depth for me would give it to 94, but not discrediting the 1954 movies.
Detroit's-
They are great. I just haven't seen as many of them.
To Troy's point, though, I will say that although that is the case with the IMDb, list, I think most just like film savvy people, I don't know a lot of like AFI and BAFTA and all that shit, like go back and forth on the best. Two of the best movies of all time are always at the top of this list, and it's Rear Window and Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
Those are, it's like that and Citizen Kane. Those are like the 3 movies mentioned.
Well,
as
and
the best
ironically-
movies ever. But I will say that though this is like 54 for me has they have 3 NBA players, like 3 like lottery NBA players.
They get the
on
big 3.
one
They
team.
get LeBron.
They're kind of like no.
Kyrie.
No. This is not the NBA. This is like college. They're like the Florida Gators, where they had like Joakim Noah and like Al Horford and like Corey Brewer on the same team.
Okay.
And they won back-to-back championships. But 94 for me is like, they just have like. They have like a 1 lottery pick and then like 5 guys that are going to get drafted throughout the entire. I think it just has a little, like Pulp Fiction
Okay,
and Shawshank are like legit like all-time movies.
Okay, but let me ask you this question:
Yeah.
Who if those two are facing off in a championship game, which one wins the championship game? The one that has the three All-Stars and no bench, or the one that has 1 All-Star and
Bench, because foul trouble comes into play. Injury.
because
happens.
you do. I guess you do have a closer.
Sure, you win on your
Yeah.
bench, but
Yeah. Not
Steve?
to mention 94 has time cop guys.
I'm going to buck my recent trend. I'm going back to 54 on this.
Really?
I mostly, what's actually putting it over the edge for me? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Because that was one of the movies when I was young that like oh my God, Disney does live action, and it was done in such a amazing way to me that there's a movie that on top of my 3 that 20,000 Leagues comes off the bench for me and puts it away.
I've got another one that comes off the bench for me too.
Kane Mutiny I love too.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
One of those that definitely comes out and I watch.
54 is loaded, no doubt about it. I mean,
Little See You Tie, the Glenn Miller story.
For me, 54 wins for me.
54 for Steve. Brian, you
Brian?
got 94.
94.
I gotta go 94 just because of the reason stated. Plus, I love Pulp Fiction too much.
Oh God.
Just be cool, honey bunny.
Just be cool.
Zed's dead.
Zed dead, baby.
Zed's dead.
Whose chopper is this?
Well, since I'm going personal versus critical, I'd probably go 94 too. I think that top heavy portion. Again, I love Ruendo. I love Ruendo.
so
And I'm not kidding. I literally watched it about a month ago.
Crazy. It's crazy good.
I think it's my favorite Hitchcock. It's a great.
Oh, totally.
so
you know what?
good,
It's
such a good movie.
Doesn't it play so fast too?
The tension in that movie,
flies
and you're
by.
sitting in a room with
Right.
a guy looking out a freaking window.
But
It's
amazing.
unbelievable.
It's so well made that like
Gorgeous,
they can put it on TV and you'll still watch it today. You know, it's just like it just
wonderful,
fits in. It's just
wonderful.
a movie. You know,
And
what I
dude,
mean?
Seven Samurai is really great too. It's just like Jesus
Very
Christ.
true.
That movie's like so good though. It's like it's hard to grasp. Like it's like wow.
You know
like,
what's
this guy-
It's one of the stories. For me, there's only 13 stories out there that we keep retelling.
Yeah.
And Shakespeare's got about 8 of them. There's another 3 or 4 in the Bible, and then for me, it's Seven Samurai.
it's like Jesus Christ. This movie is just like so epic. How the fuck did they make this?
Right.
Was
It's overwhelming.
the Hitchcock Dial In for Murder? Was that also single roomish? Am I thinking that? Like,
I just remember the
ru-
key on the steps. A sort of a single room. It takes place in his office, and then
there's one.
it's
There's
not.
one of them. I'm trying to remember which would be strange if both Hitchcock films that year
thinking
were
of
all
Rope?
single room. No, it's not Rope. There's one where it takes place in for the most part in the
Rope.
living room.
It's perfect. I don't know if you guys remember that movie, but I love Rope so much.
I haven't seen it in a
because
while. I gotta
because of
rewatch
the over the top performances and justifying it. It's perfect. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's perfect. We got him right here. Oh, you're just he's here. I know.
Okay, so we're saying 94 there, and
94 moves on
yeah,
again.
there's if you need information on that.
That doesn't-
So now we move into the. What do we move into here?
Now
Sweet
we're
16.
we're going to the
So let's do it this way. Steve takes 77. Brian takes 75. Caleb take 80, and I'll take 94.
Okay.
So we each have something to talk about in this bracket.
I mean, should we just?
well. No, I think we just go for it. 77 versus 75.
Yeah, let's
What
just
are we doing?
talk.
Okay, I guess we
We've
don't
gone
really-
over these films a bunch.
Yeah,
I think we can
that's
just
true.
jump in and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's amazing that 77 and 75 come up. Again, I think it's one of those things where
That's
if you
amazing.
put 75 against some of the other movies in other brackets, clearly winning.
Look at that though. These 5 years in movies from 75 to 80. We have 3 of our top 4
Yeah.
in this.
By the way,
like,
that's a
an
hell of a stretch
astounding
there
run.
of 5 years where
It's unbelievable.
Wait, do we have any other years in between there? We have 72. 72 got knocked out, but 74 got knocked
It's a
out.
good time for movies.
75, the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Holy
Rollerball.
Grail,
Holy Grail. Oh my
Jaws,
God.
and Dog Day Afternoon, Barry Lyndon
That's
versus Star Wars
Star Wars.
and
Yeah,
Close
right.
Encounters and Saturday Night Fever.
yeah, Shining.
This is a heavyweight fight for me.
77 has 2 of my personal favorite films of all time. That's the tough. I could look up 75.
I remember that. I remember actually writing a critical essay on Close Encounters.
Yeah, and you and I got in a huge argument.
in class.
Yeah.
I remember.
You were trashing. I'm like,
I was
what the F?
trashing it. I was trashing it.
It's a damn good.
But in
year.
a good way. You should be able to press on films in a good way, and it is really Close Encounters really is about more than what it's about, which is what makes it a great movie.
And again, the other thing is that film would never get made today with that ending.
No,
A guy leaves his family to go live with aliens. Okay,
Right.
But that's what makes it kind of special, and it's weird. That describes Spielberg as a director, is he can take an ending that's really pretty much a bummer and make you go, oh,
yeah,
You know,
but
it's
you
like,
go
wait a
like,
second.
oh, he wins in the end.
yeah, but he doesn't. He left his kids.
Right. left his wife, left his kids,
left his house, everything.
Yeah,
I'm not attempting to be quick here, but for me, I have to take 75.
Really?
Yeah.
What's putting it over the edge for you? I'm looking at episode right now.
Just Jaws, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Dog Day Afternoon,
Solid.
Monty Python. Those are kind of like.
Yeah, Monty Python, man, that is hard to get by.
like I think I quote the Holy Grail in my regular life almost on a weekly basis. Like I will just throw
Really
out
a flesh wound.
I will just throw out.
And there's not
Parts
a
of
there's
that
not a comedy in
in work.
77 that competes.
No,
That's the one thing.
Ooh,
77.
Slapshot's pretty.
it's Slapshot's fun.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know if it's
That's fun.
I don't think it's on the same
But
level.
I mean,
no, but it's fun.
Holy
It's a fun.
Grail
It's
is,
fun.
is
But Holy Grail is
oh
one
my
of those.
gosh.
Because for me,
Timeless.
77.
It's so good.
I mean, obviously, Star Wars is great. It's my second favorite Star Wars film, and Annie Hall is excellent, and Saturday Night Fever is excellent, and Close Encounters is great, and I'm not
Smokey
the
the
big,
Bandit?
I'm not a big Smokey and the Bandit guy. I'm not the biggest Eraserhead guy. I'm not a big
Yeah.
David Lynch guy in general. So for me, it's just like I like some stuff. The Hills Have Eyes is okay. It's not like Texas Chainsaw though. It's a good year against. For me, it's like this. It's like one of those teams that they've mowed through some people in the tournament, and then they play a little higher caliber team, and they kind of are flustered. A lot of turnovers, you know. Kind of the better player kind of foul.
That is how you lose in the bracket.
Yeah, foul gets into foul trouble, you know. So I'm taking 75 with a first time early vote for Caleb after being really like indecisive for 3 rounds.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to go 75 as well.
Really? Interesting.
This is super close for me. This is closer than I
Problem
thought.
is because both years have films that,
Knock each other out.
yeah, like I think Jaws and Star Wars head to head. You know, that's a fight that.
Two amazing movies.
I would
Black
actually even
Eyes,
say
like a
Jaws
doll's
wins
eye.
that fight for
I
me.
think it does.
Because
Well, I'll be honest, it's better directed.
it's yeah.
You know, it's
Like a doll's eyes.
I mean, if I were having just seen the movie and I'm a little kid watching both of those movies, of course Star Wars is going to be. But now I look back on Star Wars and there's a lot of amateurish stuff in Star Wars, and you're kind of like, ooh, you could have taken another take with that and gotten a little better line out of that. Or, you know,
I'm going to Tashi to pick up some power converters. Like, why do you sound like a 13-year-old child?
And conversely, in Jaws, like there's one great shot in Jaws. Now, I mean, there's several great shots, but there's
The boat?
one that it's actually it's a stupid shot, but it's so well composed. It's when they're crossing. Theoretically, crossing, they just do a big U. They get the car on the trolley thing, and they're going to go across.
Yeah, on the boat, and the camera's locked down. Yeah.
Locked down, and they move from a 3-shot to 2, from a 4-shot
it's
to
a
a
big
3-shot
wonder.
to a 2-shot, and it's the characters moving to the shot. The camera stays static.
Yeah.
But how each character reframes the shot
With the mayor and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is like, wow, that's brilliant directing.
that's the thing is that like there's a classic hero's journey, and as a boy, I love that, the hero's journey.
Totally.
But then you watch it. I mean, without Obi-Wan in that movie saving the acting in it, the rest of it is overacted slapstick science fiction, which I love, and of course is
Harrison Ford's pretty
amazing.
balanced.
And
I mean,
Harrison Ford is
It's the world
is
of Star Wars,
Right.
and that
right, but there isn't
massive
there
thing
isn't
that
a
he created.
performance in Jaws that isn't just like
Oh, man.
every
Robert Shaw.
word everywhere.
Yeah.
So
So
fucking
Everything,
good.
but even like the yahoos on the dock who are like, look at this fish, like everything that portrait of the
Yeah, Dreyfus is pretty solid.
of a small New England town, Martha's Vineyard. I mean, like that is such an amazing, in acting and in performance and in directing, that for me head to head, Jaws wins over Star Wars.
This is totally not relevant, but you know one thing that I didn't realize until maybe a few years ago, that Robert Shaw from Jaws is like the Spectre agent in Spy Who Loves Me. Because he's so. I mean that's like literally like maybe like a 6-year difference, but he's such a like slick looking guy in Spy Who Loves Me, and he's such an old haggard son of a bitch. and Jaws, it's like that's the same person.
He's an interesting one because he also shows up in the Sting.
Oh, that's right.
He shows up in the Sting, and again, he kind of fits in. He's kind of like a waiter, like, oh, that's Robert Shaw.
I think I've talked myself into 1975. I think in my defense of Jaws against Star Wars, if I take Star Wars out of 1977, Close Encounters is great. Saturday Night Fever is such a look into the 1970s more than anything else, more than the dancing and stuff. But the rest of that movie is such an amazing look into the 1970s.
I just like Cuckoo's Nest better than both of those films. Though.
Yeah, Cuckoo's Nest is pretty.
But then Cuckoo's Nest.
Day afternoon.
And Dog Day. Sidney Lumet's one of my favorite directors.
It's so tough because I love Star Wars so much, just because that affected my life so much. But you guys make it.
But those and then Monty Python just to kick you in the ass once you're already through the door.
That's the thing about. I mean, dude, Dog Day Afternoon. Okay, so everybody knows Sidney Lumet for 12 Angry Men and Network.
But Dog Day, I agree.
But Dog Day Afternoon is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And Pacino and what's my main man who's in everything and he died? John Cazale.
Yeah, it is.
Dude. He's so good in that movie as like the number 2. Also,
I think we're moving 1975 on, right?
75
yeah. Can I make one comment on Dog Day Afternoon? Really? Have we all seen it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
It's one of Pacino's best acting moments. Not obviously it's one of his best performances, but it's one of his best moments in that film is when he calls his wife. And because it's like you just found out that he's doing all this for his gay lover, and he calls his wife and she's just kind of ranting. And he's like, Angie, and he just, Angie, will you shut the fuck up and listen to me? And he just loses it. It's not supposed to be funny, and I'm not laughing at it, but it's so well done. You just have to laugh. It's great.
Quick side note: what happens to these actors like Pacino or De Niro that lose that edge as they get older and become carbon copies of a carbon copy of themselves?
I think that's always
they do Dirty Grandpa.
That
schlock.
I get those movies aren't good, but I always think that's unfair to do it because it's like, guys, what else do you have left to? They passed on all the big money. They're in the
taking a paycheck,
but
it's taking a paycheck.
There's got to be. I mean,
Jeff Bridges does it. They're all the Denzel does it. All the stars do it. They get 60.
But they had to,
in.
at some point somebody's offering them a role that.
Irishman,
I guess De Niro did take your Jennifer Lawrence film.
Silver Linings.
Silver Linings.
He was good in that.
Yeah.
He was a good role. That
was okay.
That was a good role for.
But I mean, there's more De Niro than him.
Yeah.
Bad grandpa.
But I just look at it like this. Like you got your gold. You're definitely cemented as one of the greatest. If somebody's like, hey, you want to do 3 weeks?
Yeah,
in Hawaii.
$2 million.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like fuck it.
Yeah,
why not? Because the thing is if they do the leading role where it's super intense and super serious and they got to prepare for it and all that, and then it's I could imagine them being like, I'll do it if it's a Scorsese movie or if Sidley, all these guys they grew up with, all these directors are old or dying or whatever. It's I'm not gonna trust this shit with Damien Chazelle. I don't know if this fucking kid is good. I mean, no knock on him. I'm just I could see a legend being would Tim Duncan want a Ricky point guard? I'm just who knows.
Not anymore.
Not gonna trust David Ayer with De Niro.
Yeah.
No, I bet De Niro would eat him up.
Well, you remember the Godfather? Who was the big guy in Godfather?
Coppola?
No, not the actor.
Brando.
Brando was famous in his older years of just destroying directors.
Yeah,
and the one that he just destroyed was Frank Oz. They did. I can't remember what the film was.
Oh, the score.
Yes,
the score.
Yeah.
De Niro and Ed Norton.
And he kept calling Frank Oz Miss Piggy the entire time. And he's like that's what he used to do. I don't do it anymore. He's like, all right, Miss Piggy. And he's like. And it's like, wow, man, Frank, and that's why I don't think Frank works that much anymore, because he got beat down so hard by Brando.
Are you serious?
Shoot it, you
totally.
fucking, shoot it, you fucking midget.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm reading this book, actually, that Sidney Lumet wrote, and he was saying that if Brando didn't, he would do something, like a weird take, and if a director didn't pick up on it, you lost him.
Oh, really?
So that makes sense,
Wow.
Anyways.
All right, so 75 moves on. So now we move into the next
80 versus 94.
80 being the
This is
8th
going to
seed,
be a
94
tough one.
being our 2 seed. me see what 80 has real fast for you guys. I'll give you a quick rundown. Shining, Empire Strikes Back, Blue Lagoon, Blues Brothers, Raging Bull, Airplane, Elephant Man, Caddyshack, Friday the 13th. I mean, there's a ton more, but that's just kind of off the top. 94 is a quick rundown. Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Leon, or The Professional, True Lies, Lion King, Speed, Stargate, Interview with the Vampire, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, blah, 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 blah. It just keeps on going.
First impressions.
Yes. What do you guys got?
I think this is a good match it up one where you can take one from each year, see how they match up, and kind of debate it because these are deep years.
What would you guys say is the best film from each year? Like the number one player, the star of the team. Because I would say for 80 it's Raging Bull or Empire.
Or Shining.
Shining. I
mean,
think
it's got three. It's got three that are just knocking it out of the park.
I think Shining or Raging
Now, mind
Bull
you,
for me.
Shining won the Razzie that year.
Dude,
I know.
Fuck awards, though.
I know. I agree.
Because everybody in
astounding.
1990, everybody said the best movie of the 80s was Raging Bull. So
Yeah.
I mean, it got no love. Like meaning it didn't win Best Picture or anything. So
I think Flash Gordon for me.
By the way, one of the great soundtracks.
come.
I love when Queen.
He'll save every one of us.
Flash. I love when Queen does soundtracks. I love Highlander soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Who
Flash
wants
Gordon
to
is
live
terrible.
Forever.
Movie is awful.
Flash Gordon is
Awful.
that is blue screen at its highest.
Shout out to Max von Sydow, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there we go.
And those eyebrows.
I wrote an entire script based on the guy who plays the green dude in Flash Gordon. I don't even know what his name is.
Jesus.
Who's the guy who's the big black beard?
Oh, that's Bond. That guy. Timothy Dalton.
No, not Timothy Dalton. Not that guy.
Okay.
The leader of the flying dudes. Not.
Oh, okay. The big guy at the way.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I based an entire script off of him.
Okay, so how about this? We'll do it by threes then. Okay, so best three films of the 80s.
Well, the three for the 80 is simple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The best three films of the 80s are 1980, which is
Raging Bull,
8C.
Empire Strikes Back, and The Shining.
Exactly. And then
94,
for 94, we're going to go Pulp Fiction, Shawshank, and what?
Pulp Fiction, Shawshank.
We're going to go Lion King. We're going to go Forrest Gump. We're going to go Professional.
Hang on. Let me.
We're going to go. You guys got anything?
That is really tough.
Speed.
Shawshank, Pulp.
Let's see. Hoop Dreams. I think Hoop Dreams is a major player.
I feel
Ed
like I was
Wood.
about to say Hoop Dreams. I think I would put Hoop Dreams.
Hoop Dreams or Ed Wood.
Ed Wood's okay.
No,
it's acting better than film.
Not Ed Wood.
Okay.
I'm just scrolling.
I would probably say Hoop Dreams.
Hoop Dreams.
I think Hoop Dreams is excellent. True Lies is also up there, but I don't think it's in third.
Nah, True Lies feels.
No,
True Lies is entertaining.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's gonna be a little dated at this point.
Okay, so let's just say Hoop Dreams. We don't have to it's not like the end of the world if it's not.
But it already shows you something. It's hard to just pick three from 94.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of top films.
So let's bump those. We got our three
Okay.
from the 80s. We got our three from 94. Kick those to the curb.
Okay,
Let's
go
go to 80. Who are the other players?
You get a lot of
three.
entertainment movies in 80 after those.
Blues Brothers,
Initially.
Airplane,
Blues Brothers.
Caddyshack.
There's really good entertaining stuff.
Friday
Yeah.
the 13th.
Friday the yeah, entertaining. Yeah, exactly.
Entertaining
but
is.
I don't
has
like
to
the
be, that
first
means
Friday
it's
the
good.
13th.
If it's not,
Well,
if you're not entertained by
But
a comedy, then
is there something in that next level that is also entertaining, but also like a critical?
I think Airplane. I think
I
Airplane
agree.
is a good film.
Airplane created a genre.
It's true.
It created a genre.
But I
I
think
think-
you
I
look
think-
at 94 with Forrest Gump, Lion King, Dumb and Dumber, Professional, these movies like Speed, Natural Born Killers. There's a lot of stuff at the top.
For 80, I mean, you talk about creating a genre. Friday the 13th. I mean, Jesus,
Yeah.
slasher
Yeah,
film.
it's true.
Airplane, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
If you want to go things that really stood a test of time.
Superman 2. Well, let's not spitball here. Give me some of your. Let's not
I
keep
just gave
listing
you.
films.
Well, I am.
No, I mean, let's go into it.
I think Clerks in 94, Ace
Yeah.
Ventura. These are, I mean,
See, okay, like you look at a movie like Clerks, yeah, very, very important for the independent film movement. You know, made on-
Dialogue heavy, basic, simple concept, nice low
Yeah.
budget film.
Let me
That,
ask you a question about a film of 80 that I didn't really get, but seems to have a lot of cred. Is Elephant Man?
I don't like. I think it's overrated.
I do too.
I'm not a big Lynch guy.
No, mind you, I like David Lynch a ton. That film didn't connect with me at all for some reason, and I don't know why.
I'm neutral on it. I don't know why. I think back on it and I'm like, I remember. Yeah,
I mean,
remember
it
parts
was
of
well acted. You know, I mean, maybe it was. I don't know.
I feel like if David Lynch didn't make that film, nobody would ever remember that movie.
You know who produced that film?
No idea.
Mel Brooks.
Nice. Love me some Mel Brooks.
He actually took his name off it because he didn't want people to think that it's just his company, but he didn't put his name on it because he didn't want people to think it was a comedy or something crazy. So,
yeah, but you know, I think Urban Cowboy. That's a good early Travolta in the old Travolta time.
that also Urban Cowboy is a follow up in the soundtrack. It's a film that established that was a double album soundtrack too, but it started the country movement of music through the 80s.
Jackie Chan is the big brawl. Haven't seen that, but I love Jackie Chan, one of my all-time favorites.
I might have to go 94.
Stir Crazy.
I think it's just super deep with a lot of movies that
I'm looking at 94 again.
that seem to stand out to me.
I think that I would agree just because of, comedies like... See, the thing that 94 can do against 80 is it can match you on the comedy level.
Yeah.
Between Ace Ventura,
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber, you have The Mask. Those are films that match up against your airplanes. Dumb and Dumber is a classic comedy,
I'll also say this: the Crow was kind of on the forefront of the comic book genre, making a huge movement there.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Crow fan. A lot of
I liked it,
people are,
but
it's
it's very 94 specific, especially with its soundtrack. But it was done in a way that up until that point really hadn't been done. The way it was shot, and had it was darker. It was a completely different change in the comic
obviously
book.
the tragedy of Brandon Lee elevated the
That true, but before then everything was Superman 2 or whatever. It was very happy-go-lucky kind of stuff.
That's true.
And
That's a good point.
Batman to the point was a little darker, but this really took it one step further.
Yeah.
Oh, I like 94. Really, one of my favorite films. I like John Waters movies a lot. Serial Mom, Kathleen Turner.
Serial
Mom. Yeah.
Such a great, fun, dark comedy about Kathleen Turner, who looks nothing like she did back then.
Poor
Now,
Kathleen.
but I mean, really a great casting choice. She's just like killing people, like neighbors and shit. It's a fun, dark comedy.
Quiz show.
Yeah,
John
quiz
Wayne
shows
DeMarco.
definitely. Also, a big fan of this movie because I was a kid when it came out. It was made for me. Both of them, Little Giants and Blank Check, two big movies.
Check.
Listen, I'm not saying these are great films, but they have a special nostalgic attachment to me.
Once Were Warriors.
I like The Ref too, just because Kevin Spacey goes ape shit on his mom in that one scene. So for me, I'm taking 94. What do you guys got?
Yeah, I'm 94 as well.
Steve?
It's tough. I keep
Fiction, man.
scrolling through 1980, and I keep finding little gems that have a place.
Ooh.
You know what this is, guys? This is the classic when me and Brian were kids.
Yeah, it's true.
Era versus when you two were kids.
Yeah, these
Exactly.
are spaced out.
That is this
Exactly,
matchup.
and because you were going through the list of movies, I got this nostalgic spot, and I'm going through it, and I'm like, I have a nostalgic spot for Xanadu and for Coal Miner's Daughter,
Olivia Newton-John.
and
I saw
and the
Coal
Blue
Miner-
Lagoon was my first rated R. Like, oh my god,
Brooke Shields.
yeah.
I saw Coal Miner's Daughter in the back of a pickup truck
Who
in
is
Texas.
that?
Yeah.
Who's in? I've never seen it, obviously.
That's
she looks
Carrie.
like she looks
Spacey? Is
yeah,
it?
Sissy Spacek.
Sissy Spacek.
that's Sissy. She looks like Mariah Carey in this fucking poster, like young Mariah Carey.
So,
Speaking of little
yeah,
gems, 94, here's a good one, The Last Seduction.
Ooh, Linda
yeah.
Fiorentino, yeah.
And mind you, off the first two films that John Dahl did, I thought he was going to be a superstar.
Dude, I love Rounders.
Well, Rounders too,
I
but
fucking
even,
love Rounders.
did you see Red Rock West?
No, but I fucking love
Watch
Rounders.
watch Red Rock West. It's Nick Cage.
Paid that man his money.
It blew me away, Red Rock West. Because it was made cheap, and I think it premiered on HBO. But it's just a great little. It's very much like an early Coen Brothers film. Let me look at 80 again real fast.
Yeah, Private Benjamin, Urban Cowboy,
Private Benjaman.
Stir Crazy.
Dude,
Remember that?
I mentioned
Stir
Stir
Crazy.
Listen, I love Pryor and I love Wilder and I love when they're together.
Yeah, I mean they were.
Hear no evil, see no evil. Dude, I love
My Bodyguard.
Silver Streak. I mean, obviously
Streak?
different year, but I
Yeah.
love me some Pryor.
Prior, when they were
Blue Streak?
together.
Martin Lawrence.
Dude, I got a pizza delivery for robbery homicide.
Isn't it the dude from Sounds of the
God, I
Lambs
don't
is
know.
the bad guy in there?
I don't know. Like,
I think it is. I think it's Buffalo Bill.
No,
I think
it's not.
he's not the bad guy in Blue Streak?
The bad guy in Blue Streak is the guy
Cheech and
is
Chong's
Zed.
movie.
Zed from Pulp Fiction.
Smoking
cop
Bandit 2.
Is it?
who's
Like
raping
Smoking
men.
Bandit 2 was
Wait,
like
I
on
need
cable
this.
24/7 when I was a
His
kid.
name is like
Right.
Dominic something.
I don't know.
He's also
there's a
Redfoot
lot of nostalgia in
I
1980
promise
for
you, he's
me.
also Redfoot in.
And it's weird because
Usual
I
Suspects.
voted against 1980 in the previous round, but I actually think I'm leaning towards 1980 in this round, mostly because I love 94, but again, 94 for me has always been. There aren't
Super
many genre-defining movies in 94. You can say Hoop Dreams and Clerks
Yeah, you're
would
right.
be the front runners of those.
Pulp Fiction's pretty epic.
Pulp Fiction.
Pretty fucking.
It is pretty epic, but coming off of
Reservoir Dogs sort of define.
yeah, Reservoir Dogs established the prime.
it did for the indie stuff. Scene.
Reservoir Dogs
But-
is a
but-
screenwriting showcase. Pulp Fiction is
Pulp Fiction as a film
his
though
first-
is a with all the. I mean, not since like Rashomon shit have they done the out of order all that. That was a huge genre defining film. Absolutely revitalized Travolta's career. Put Sam Jackson in the forefront. Brought back Bruce Willis. Introduced us to Uma Thurman. Obviously, the gold watch scene, one of my all-time favorites. You be damn.
Good junk.
I hate this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass for 2 years.
And that's what's weird is that as I'm saying that genre defining, I'm looking back and I think my nostalgia for 1980 might actually be helping it more because, while it's not genre defining, 9 to 5, like all of these others, it's not like Private Benjamin or Coal Miner's Daughter or, I mean, you can say that Urban Cowboy, I don't know, Flash Gordon. God, this is tough for me. I don't know why this is so tough. But
Yeah.
I
this is
think
good.
I'm actually talking myself out of 1980
I think
because of, and I look back because of Hoop Dreams. How many documentaries come to the forefront of any year?
Because it's so real. It's just such a real fucking movie. It's just like,
Hey,
Jesus.
Hoop Dreams motivated me to shoot my film Old Coaches,
There you go.
which I shot in 99.
So are we 94 all the way around, or what are we thinking, Troy?
Yeah, I know, 94.
guess
Looking
it's
back,
94.
I love 90. God damn it. What I really hate is you love a year.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Gotta let it go.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only do you, but it's weird. It's those 2 years, 77 and 80, which are the Star Wars years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so tough for. Oh my God, it's tough.
But you take Star Wars away from them, and they still have other things, but they're not as.
But they don't.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I love Raging Bull, man. Raging Bull is my favorite.
All right, so
So 75 versus
75 versus
94.
94. Let's knock
All
this out
right.
of the park.
All right.
Just jumping into it.
Well, wait, no, sorry, scratch that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm tripping.
All right.
Well, I don't need the review. I
Yeah.
remember these films. I'm only doing this because I love Pulp Fiction so much. I'm going 94.
Wow.
I know how many great films are in 75.
There's great comedies in 94. Like we talked about the Dumb and Dumber, the Ace
Yeah.
Ventura, but
the Holy Grail.
Python and the Holy Grail
is a
just stands
establisher.
above
I agree.
all of those. I
agree.
That's like in a league of its own for comedies. So that wins that sort of genre. Pulp Fiction, going with Shawsh. I mean, there's a ton of loaded movies in 94. Jaws is fucking Jaws, man. I
Yeah.
mean, and the fact that was done 20 years earlier and has set the bar and is still just as scary to a kid or an adult today as it was then. I mean, that movie is unbelievable.
I'm going to bring up a couple things. There's a couple films, probably more than a couple films in 75 that really stand the test of time. And I mean, really. Rocky Horror Picture Show. It plays
It's still a heavily cult followed thing that it goes on Saturdays at midnight everywhere.
Yeah,
around the
it's-
You
country.
can
still
look at that and say none of the films in 94 are still on screen.
Yeah.
And
Rocky
in 75, there's a movie that's been on screen.
Yeah.
For 30, 40
Absolutely.
years, whatever.
I mean,
It's,
But the weird thing about it, though, is it's been on screen because it's so bad.
Well,
that's the
right,
weird,
right.
That's the
Whatever
weird thing
it may
about
be.
It's like-
but it is crossed. It's the so bad it's good.
cult.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's cult.
Exactly. It's cult. There's a culture behind it, and everyone gets dressed up, and
Yeah.
it's like a
It's
thing to
established
go
it.
for your first time
Yeah.
or participate in it.
It is
guys-
so it is.
It's part of the fabric now. It's part
Did
of
you
the
guys mention for 75 Death Race 2000,
2000.
or Solo and the 220
Oh
Days
yeah,
of Solo?
100.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Dude, it's fucking terrible.
It's fucking really fucked up.
I know. I didn't even finish. I just was like,
I
fuck
don't even think we
this.
brought up Nashville.
Why would you?
In 75.
Right. Why would you?
Why would you?
Return
Man,
of the Pink
sucks.
Panther in 75.
Yeah.
Your Pink Panther movie.
I'll be honest, yeah, I'm leaning 75.
I am as well,
Hey,
honestly.
the only reason I'm going 94, guys, is because Pulp Fiction had a big influence on me.
Yeah, I love Pulp.
And of all the movies in either year, it's like so far ahead of any other movie for me. And that's saying something because I love Jaws.
Yeah.
And I love Cuckoo's Nest and Dog Day. But
Funny, I would say I go back to Jaws more than I do Pulp Fiction.
Me too.
that's great. I do not.
I'm
but
just saying that it's the film.
Jaws like changed something in me when I was a kid and saw that, and
Started
like,
to watch
just
it. I was
from like
scared to use the toilet.
wow, this is.
You
I mean,
know?
it is just it does its job as movie making. It is so well crafted.
Yep.
It terrifies you, and not only terrifies you while you're watching it, but you don't want to go to the fucking ocean and go swimming.
Terrifies you, and it's PG rated.
It's PG. Well,
What,
PG-13.
yeah, different time.
well,
Yes,
75. I mean, you had to have like a rape
I
scene to
think
get like
if
a car.
it came out, yeah.
I mean, the shark violates the girl in the beginning. I don't know.
Listen, Airplane has a PG, and that's the first pair of unset tits
Yes.
I ever saw. It's like
Yeah.
shaking in a close up.
And some
Right.
TV channels actually missed that when they would show, like they did because it's a PG movie. You're like,
Right,
right,
right.
what do I have to beep out in this?
The quality control guy just got
Jumps in
fired.
front of the camera. One of the most
It
random
comes down
scenes
to me,
ever.
doesn't it?
Yep.
Like, oh my god,
Never gonna
Or
forget
a
it.
flip a coin, either or.
No, I think I'm in
no,
I'm in 75.
We can't flip it this late in the
Jaws,
stage. We have to
Cuckoo's
we have to
75.
Monty
All right,
debate
folks.
our way out of it.
Yeah,
75 takes it. So let's take a quick
75,
look
yeah.
at the
Guys, we're not in we're out of flipping coin territory. We have to debate.
Yeah,
these
no,
things.
these have to be. Yeah.
Okay, so 75 is the 5 seed. That takes the West bracket. In the South bracket, 99, the 1 seed takes that. In the North bracket, 82, which was, I believe, also a 1 seed. No.
No.
Oh, a 3 seed. And then the East, we have 1990, which was a 6 seed.
All right, nice little diversity.
So to
It's-
recap, we'll have the 3 versus the 6 in the Northeast matchup, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll have what, the 1 versus the 2? No, the 1
5.
versus the 5.
You know, it's interesting. If
Southwest.
94 would have got that, we would have had 3 years in the 90s.
yeah,
Make it to the. It's
true.
Which I'm glad we didn't go that way because
Yeah.
I think we need to have a little more diversity.
yeah,
but,
like 70s, 80s, 90s.
Hey,
yeah.
hey.
Almost
The
2000.
bracket is what the bracket
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
can't be basing this
No.
off of decades.
All right, people. Okay, so that's it for this podcast. We'll be back in the next podcast to wrap the whole thing up.